This is Creepy with Coffee.
Today's story is posted by Acceptable Age 5461, titled Abandoned Hospital. Now, this story is actually about my husband. He's a magnet for the paranormal. He has seen things for as long as he can remember and is still freaked out when things happen. Anyways, he had went to an abandoned hospital with a friend. When they went in, it was actually broad daylight. Once they were inside the building, my husband kept track of any turns they have made so they could make sure they came back the same way. As they were going through, he noticed bullet holes in walls and blood stains that looked like people had been dragged down the hallways. They saw things running around in their peripheral vision and had chairs rolling across the floors right in front of them. They even heard things running around. But my husband said it could be animals, but they never saw a single animal, so who knows? After that, he said things started to feel weird when they noticed it had gotten dark outside. But it didn't make sense to him because it felt like they were only in there for maybe an hour or so. So they were ready to leave at that point, and he started following his notes to backtrack to get out of there. And once they reached what should have been the stairwell to get them out, it ended up being nothing but a solid wall. Remember earlier on when I said my husband actually made signs to keep track of any turns they made? Yes. But now when they follow back, what's supposed to be a stairwell is now a solid wall. He said he knew they were in the right spot because the graffiti on the wall around it was the exact same one as it was when he saw it when they first got in. Well, obviously it caused them to panic, and they started trying to get out of any door they could find and came across a door that had a sign on it saying, "Do not enter, dead inside." Well, they went through it anyway. It ended up being a morgue, and they had to go through it to find a way out. The only door my husband could force his way through was a door leading to the roof. Once they got outside, they had to go across the roof and down into a stairwell of another part of the hospital just to get out. He said it felt almost as if whatever was in there didn't want them to leave. The last part sounds a little crazy, but he swears by it. He said when they got back to the car, he noticed he had dropped something and went back to look around the window for it. When he got back to the window, he saw stood there a little girl. And not just that, the little girl threw what my husband was looking for on the ground in front of him as if she was telling him not to come back in. He grabbed it and ran so fast he ended up tripping and actually tore something in his knee and still has problems from it to this day. Well, whether you believe it or not, he goes white as a ghost and started sweating every time he tells the story. I had asked him to take me to check it out, and he refused to ever step foot back in there again. They had tried tearing it down for years, but every crew that went into that abandoned hospital would leave and refuse to come back. It wasn't until around 2 years ago that they successfully tore it down. Now, the abandoned hospital sits in piles with the parking garage still standing. And another additional point, my husband said the chapel felt the worst, and surprisingly, the cremation chamber was the most peaceful.